All right, guys, now part 2 of 2, graphing linear inequalities. Graphing linear inequalities. Now we're going to look at an example with a linear inequality that's in standard form. So we remember standard form is not as nice to us as slope-intercept form, but it can still be done. So my advice for these inequalities is that you take the inequality and that you actually put it back into slope-intercept form. And it is not that big of a deal. So here's what we're going to do. Remember, slope-intercept form basically has y by itself. So we want a y by itself. So what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to manipulate the left side of this expression to where we solve for y. So this is actually a two-step process. It's not too bad. So I start by taking away the x term from both sides. So that leaves me with 5y is greater than or equal to negative 10 minus 6x. All right. And then I follow up with dividing by 5. So I divide both sides by 5. All right, divide both sides by 5, which leaves me with y is greater than, and that cancels out right there, just like this canceled out. Y is greater than or equal to negative 10 fifths minus 6 fifths x. All right, which I'm going to clean up to say y is greater than or equal to negative 10 fifths is equal to negative 2. So I have found my y-intercept minus 6 fifths is my slope. All right. And so what I'm going to start doing with this is now that I know a y-intercept, I am going to start, and let me actually shift my graph a little bit. I have a feeling it's going to be right over here. So I am going to start by graphing my y-intercept, 0, negative 2. I always start there. And it's a negative slope, so I know I'm going to go down, let's see, down 6, right 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there I have it. And I can do 1 over here to the left. So I'm going to go up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right here. All right. And in this case, you notice that this says y is greater than or equal to. Because of this equals to, right? It's basically like saying y equals. I can actually, and I know my line is horrible right here, but I can actually draw a solid line, not a, and I don't have to worry about a dotted line. Okay, and I know that looks really funky, but now basically I need to find out, if you paid attention to the last example, which of these two sides is going to be shaded. In other words, which set of coordinates satisfies my equation. Now, some of you guys will understand this first glance, and then some of us need to be more quantitative, but because this is y is greater than means above the line. Now, if you can visualize what above the line is, then you'll know that it is this side of the line, not this side of the line. This is the side that is below the line. So this is greater than. So this is the side that's going to be shaded. But just to prove it to you, I'm going to test some points. Now, if you recall from my last lesson, I think that the best test point in the world is 0, 0, because it's really easy to evaluate with 0. So here we go. I'm going to evaluate with 0, 0. So 6x plus 5y is greater than or equal to negative 10. So let's see. If I say 6 times 0, I need to check that when I add it to 5 times 0 to see if I get a result that's greater than or equal to negative 10. And well, 6 times 0 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0. And that should be greater than negative 10. So 0 plus 0 is 0. And I check this statement. Is 0 greater than the number negative 10? The answer is yes, absolutely. All right, it is. So this test point works, meaning that all of this is going to be shaded. All of this, any point that I would pick on this side of the line would satisfy the inequality. So let's check now to see if we actually did this right. If not, I got to delete the video and start from scratch. But if you're seeing this video, it's because it's right. And yes, that's the solution. All right, that's the solution set. The only way to show the solutions of this inequality, because there's an infinite amount of points, you could not list them all. You couldn't tell me 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0. You can't list all the points. So the way that you solve a linear inequality is by graphing it. You need to graph the solution set and shade. Beautiful.